Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this Smackdown live review of the first episode, which was obviously the WWE draft. Now, I've put a lot of videos out about the draft, so I don't feel the need to spend too long on this, but there's certainly a few things to go through. I thought the draft itself was a bit flat. I think it was flat because there wasn't many people actually there. So when they announced somebody, that person didn't come out. I thought the fact that Raw always had the first pick meant that it could have been a bit more of, we've chosen this guy, or we're going to choose as our first pick this woman, or this tag team, or whatever it might be. Music hits, out they come in their Raw tops, celebrating with the crowd and whatnot. I just think that would have been a lot more exciting, or a more exciting way to have called up Finn Balor than to have just said, our number 5 pick or our number 3 pick in regards to Raw, Finn Balor. It's like it just felt flat. And I think part of the problem was the fact that it was the go-home show for Battleground as well, so they had to do matches, they had to promote that pay-per-view, so they're trying to promote the pay-per-view whilst also trying to do a draft, whilst also, I dare say, there's probably house shows going on as well, so they didn't have everybody. I don't know, for example, if they had any of the NXT stars at their disposal, but there was none of them there. No, Alpha wasn't there. Nia Jax wasn't there. Finn Balor wasn't there, but unless they were backstage. But they never used them. So for me, that part of it was flat. I also thought a lot of the decisions were weird. The first 5 were pretty strong pick wise. Next 5 can't really argue with, but the likes of Sasha Banks was the 13th person drafted, is maybe a little low down. Becky Lynch being the 14th person is quite high. By the time Becky Lynch was drafted, Kevin Owens, Enzo Big Cass, American Alpha, Dolph Ziggler, they still hadn't been selected. And ultimately, no one goes for an NXT champion, which I've included in another video that's gone out, the 10 quirky outcomes of the WWE draft. If you've not had a chance to check that out, it'd be brilliant if you did, because I cover some of the quirkier things or results of the draft in there. This video is just more about Smackdown Live, about the draft. And whether it was any good or not. And I've got to be honest, I thought it really missed the mark, because I think the people they called up from NXT were underwhelming, and in fact a good chunk of them weren't even announced on the show. They had potential to call up Nakamura, Samoa Joe, Asuka, and instead they went Nia Jax, Carmella, Alexa Bliss, Mojo Rawley. It's very difficult to get excited about that. There was no returning stars. People were hoping that they might see a Hardy or Rey Mysterio, or you might get Kurt Angle. You didn't get any of that. I also think the Raw roster is a lot stronger than the SmackDown roster. You've got Seth, you've got Charlotte, you've got Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, New Day, Sami Zayn, Sasha Banks, Kevin Owens, Enzo Big Cass. SmackDown have got Ambrose, AJ Styles, John Cena's good pick, Randy Orton, don't know how long he's in it for, Bray Wyatt needs to be booked properly, Becky Lynch was a bad pick for me, The Miz. Really, and when The Miz was selected, Daniel Bryan said, we're doing this because we need the Intercontinental title. Not, this guy is amazing, but we need the Intercontinental Champion. Baron Corbin hasn't done anything yet. Alpha was a great pick. Dolph Ziggler was a great pick. Alberto Del Rio, I don't think it was a good time to go with Alberto Del Rio. I think they need charisma, and I don't think Alberto Del Rio brings that. I think they needed Samoa Joe or Nakamura or something. I mean, even Bob Backlund at the moment is just oozing charisma. He's fantastic to watch. So Darren Young might not have been the worst shout there. But yeah, for me, the SmackDown roster just wasn't as strong. The ones, I mean, you can watch my reaction videos that I've just put up. You'll be able to see all of the televised SmackDown Live call-ups. The ones that were on the network show, let's just quickly go through it. So Raw on the network show called up Golden Truth, Titus O'Neil, Paige, who was very low down the draft, Darren Young, Sin Cara, Jack Swagger, Dudley Boyz, Summer Rae, Mark Henry, Braun Strowman, Bo Dallas on his own, the Shining Stars, Alicia Fox, Dana Brooke, and Curtis Axel. SmackDown went for the Usos, Kane, Kalisto, very far down the list, Naomi, Ascension, Zack Ryder, Apollo Crews, very low down the list, Alexa Bliss, which is, you know, I'm really pleased for her, Breezango, who I think are fantastic, Eva Marie, Vaudevillains, Eric Rowan, Mojo Rawley, who can partner Zack Ryder on that SmackDown roster, and Carmella. I'm really pleased for Carmella. I've absolutely nothing against Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Carmella. I rate them. I think they've all improved as well. It's just not, they're just not big names, and who knows, you know, maybe Bayley moves on to that SmackDown roster and provides a big name for them, because really Bayley is the queen of NXT and Finn Balor is the king. Finn's gone to Raw. It makes sense for Bayley to go to SmackDown. So I thought the draft was a bit of a miss, to tell the truth. No returning stars. NXT stars didn't really set the world on fire, and the rest of it didn't really, you know, excite. I think that they were promoting a pay-per-view. I think some of the matches were okay. I thought the championship match was good, and that's a big win for Dean Ambrose. He goes into that match at Battleground as the WWE champion, but he's got to go up against Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Both are on Raw. There's a strong possibility that WWE title ends up at Raw on Monday. I hope not, because I think SmackDown needs it, and I think Ambrose deserves to keep it as well. So I hope he retains. Other matches, there was champions against challengers, which was okay. The big moment for me was Darren Young slapping on the crossface chicken wing, which I absolutely loved that moment, because Bob Backlund was on the outside and he kind of gives the sign, and Darren Young slaps it on, and I thought that was great. First match was, man, I can't remember what all the matches were now. There was just a lot of filler. Cesaro against Jericho, I thought was a very good match. John Cena, is it John Cena against, who was it against? Gallows. That I remember outside interference, and I thought it was a bit flat. Bray Wyatt against Xavier was interesting, but Bray picks up the win with Sister Abigail, so again it was a bit pointless. Sasha against Charlotte and Dana was pointless. So I thought the matches were wide of the mark. All in all, I think the hype and the expectation greatly outweighed what was delivered, but all of that aside, it is still a completely different world now, a wrestling world I should say. All eyes on Battleground, all eyes on next week. I'm not hating on either show. I do think that the Raw roster's stronger, but there's still massive potential on both brands. I think Daniel Bryan and Shane will provide better leadership than what Mick Foley and Steph will, so could argue that it evens it out that way. But yeah, it was what it was, you know. I can't sit here and say it was amazing, it was one of the best shows I've ever seen, because it wasn't. And the draft, I don't think, was as good as what it could have been either, so cool. Let me know your thoughts, you know, if you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it. and which one you're looking forward to watching the most. Are you Raw? Are you SmackDown? And why? What competitors is it that have really swayed it that way for you? Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Wrestling Days UK. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, it would be greatly appreciated if you did. That is it for the draft. I've put up everything that I think I'm going to put up about it. I think we've totally covered it. And yeah, join me for Battleground preview, review, and all of next week when we get the first proper shows of Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night SmackDown, or SmackDown Live as they're calling it. Cool. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.